Hello and welcome to the first ever HFA podcast. I am your host Hussein, joined with Amr, Molly, and Bryce. This is something new that the students from NJHS have proposed that we should do. It's basically a podcast giving the students and staff a rundown of current events and school events. This is our first episode, so we'll be making a informative piece, recapping everything from the COVID all the way up to today. To start, I will recap us from the start of COVID. COVID was very scary and had us anxious. It first landed in the US around February. In March 13th, the government shut down all businesses and schools, which feels weird to say this happened basically a year now. Around 2.4 million deaths and 112 million cases. Business got struck hard, and because of the new pandemic, and people were going crazy for supplies. In September, school started back up offering an all online method. Now we are amidst the vaccination and distribution of the vaccine, which is 95% effective. But with the giant pandemic, there is like currently people are getting vaccinated 10 to 1 for them getting the virus. Hopefully we will be out of this madness in the coming months and we can go back to our usual non-mask wearing lives.
All right. It's no secret that a lot has happened to our country throughout the past few months. The 2020 election has taken a toll on us all. It is often said that this was one of our country's most important elections. Then candidate Joe Biden faced off against former President Donald Trump throughout the end of 2020. Throughout the race, the former president promised that he would keep America great, while Joe Biden promised to pass legislation that would allow millions of Americans to receive their much-needed stimulus checks. After Election Day had passed and Joe Biden was announced as the victor, Donald Trump made baseless claims that the election was stolen. Even as the former president made efforts to sue state governments, he ultimately failed. Now, as the Biden administration is in their fifth week in office, they have been instrumental in changing and reversing the policies of the previous administration. I'm sure that you all can agree that politics has shaped part of our lives in some way. The second impeachment of former President Donald Trump recently took place to convict the former president of inciting an insurrection on our Capitol. Since the Democratic-controlled House of Representatives voted to convict the president 232 to 197, the articles of impeachment were sent to the United States Senate. However, this can be a bit tricky. In order to convict Trump, Democrats needed a two-thirds majority in the 50-50 split Senate, which they did not get. The final vote ended up being 57 to 43. Although the Senate failed to convict the president, the trial was the most bipartisan impeachment trial in history.
Governor Cuomo and his administration have been doing some awful things regarding COVID, and now it's finally coming to light. Throughout the quarantine, Cuomo has been forcing COVID-positive people into unprepared nursing homes. By adding corporate-friendly provisions to budgets and allowing corporate immunity, Cuomo has been able to get away with it for months. It is now reported that around 50% of nursing home deaths have gone unreported. Once people started to catch on what was happening, Cuomo's administration changed the way nursing home deaths were counted. They are now counted as hospital death numbers. This allowed for nursing home deaths to look less terrible as other states. As more and more come to light, people of both parties are working together to get Cuomo out, and they are not going to just stop there. There's many talks that they're going to go to different states and make sure that other governors, including ours, are not abusing their emergency powers.
Now let's talk about the Texas blackouts. The state's widespread electricity failure was largely caused by freezing natural gas pipelines, according to regulators. Millions of people are without heat and electricity, and some without running water. The Washington Post says that Texas' cold weather catastrophe is a global warning and could lead to many, many other country blackouts in America. People slept in hotels and in their cars. Some people even burned their belongings to stay warm. Some are saying that the scenes in Texas are a blow to America's global image that has already been tarnished due to the failed attempt to handle the pandemic. Texas's wind turbines have also failed due to the icy conditions. And these wind turbines are said to withstand very cold temperatures, as they are in Alaska and in other cold climates. There's complete chaos in global weather right now across the country, and many are left with no answer. So, as I conclude, I'd like to give a quick reminder to stay safe and protect yourself and your family from the virus. To end, I would like to say a quote from Maya Angelou. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Thank you for listening, and join us next episode.